everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Makeup Deborah Hannigan. I'm doing a voiceover today, so please bear with me. I'm going to get stuck right in. This is the Got To Be hair gel, and I'm using that with a wee spoolie, and I'm going to start brushing the hairs in an upward motion. This starts to flatten the brow hair against the skin, and I'm using my finger just to make sure that it's pressed in nice and neatly. This gives a laminated brow effect. Girls, if you have not tried this, you need to get this hair gel because your brows will actually stay in place the whole day. It's a game changer. You're going to love it. Now I'm taking the P. Louise base in shade 2, and I'm taking a Bedillium's Tools 369 brush, and I'm going to start to carve underneath the brow. And because my brows are slightly thinner and I want them to be thicker, I'm just carving out the line slightly underneath my brow so there's a bit of space, so that whenever I go in later on with some brow product, my brow will appear that bit thicker. So now what I'm doing is I'm just patting on the product and extending it out to the temples, even up a wee bit from the temples, and also the inner tear duct and a wee bit in the nose. This is to ensure whenever you go to apply your base later on that you don't have to come too close to your eyeshadows. Taking a flat fluffy brush, I'm going to start to buff in the edges. I also like to do this step because it always shows me whether I need to add more product or anything. I'll always know if there's like discoloration popping through, and that way you'll know. But I was actually happy with the amount of product I had on, so all I needed to do was buff it and buff in the edges so that for later on again, whenever you're going to put your foundation on, everything's nice and blended in seamlessly. I'm aware that there is professional tape, but I had none, so I'm using sellotape, using my lower lash line to guide this on. Then I'm going to be taking the bperfect clientele pad in the shade Peach Out. Now taking a fluffy brush, I'm just going to start applying the product on, and I'm using small circular motions and extend it out slightly. Just use your sellotape as a guide, that's what I'm doing here anyway. So now I'm just going to take that shadow and I'm going to go up at an angle and go right underneath the brow, leaving the arch of the brow free because I want to add shimmer to that later on and I want it to be nice and bright looking. Now I'm taking a really big fluffy brush and I'm just bringing that same shade right out onto the temples. Now taking the shade Jaja from the clientele palette, I'm going to apply that to the outer portion, and I'm doing small circular motions to really pack that colour on. I just brought it up slightly, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush, a bigger one. I like to do this step because I just think it blends everything out so well. I go back and forth picking up product with a small brush and then just using the bigger fluffier brush to diffuse the edges. So now I'm just taking that colour and I'm bringing it out onto the temples. I bring it out with a smaller brush and then I get the bigger brush, which was clean, and I like to just like blend it out with that. I just think you need a bigger fluffier brush for this step. Now taking the Chocolate Bar palette by Too Faced, I'm taking this whitey creamy shade here. Using a fluffy brush, I'm going to start putting this all over the lid, and I'm kind of like fusing it into the orange shades as well. Don't be afraid if you get this on the orange shades because you can always go back and forth with your products. And just for a wee extra something something, I'm taking that wee peachy colour and I'm just putting that on the outer portion of the lid next to the Jaja colour, but not quite on it. Doll Beauty, I got you. This brown shade is divine, so I'm going to start applying that to the outer portion of my eye, and I'm just going to do wee soft kind of circular motions. I'm actually going to bring this down slightly onto the lash line and extend it out onto the temples as well. So this is a very important step because this is now you're transitioning now into the dark phase, is what I like to call it. So now I'm just stippling on that brown shade and I'm going to bring it up underneath the brow as well and slightly down onto the nose. This will help later on whenever you go to contour, so you have something to fuse it into. To help everything get nice and blended, I'm just taking a really big blending brush now and I'm taking the peachy shades from the clientele palette. I'm actually taking that underneath the brow and out onto the temple. So this step was not even meant to be happening, folks. I just felt like I lost some of my eyelid space where the white was, so now I'm just rectifying that with the P. Louise base. And because I don't really want this to look like a cut crease, I'm actually using a fluffy brush just to soften out the edges. I'm just adding some more shadows now, the peach one and the cream shadow from the Too Faced palette, just to make sure that everything's nice and blended out. And then I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills black liner, which is actually my favourite at the minute. It's so black and so matte. It's just really such a good liner. And I'm going to start at the inner portion and I'm going to kind of like wing it out, being kind of close to the lash line as possible because you can thicken it up later. Now taking the Inglot 77 gel liner, which is the black one, and some Durline, I'm going to apply that to the outer portion in a stippling motion using my flick as a guide. This is going to help when you go to apply your black shadow to make sure it's really black. Now taking a black shadow, I'm using a stippling motion so I can actually work the shadow into the gel liner. I'm now taking this shade here from the Clientele palette and a wee detailing brush, and I'm going to just give that pop of highlight underneath the brow. Now taking some tatty lashes and some duo glue, I'm going to apply that and let that get tacky for a wee moment. So when I let that sit, I'm going to apply some mascara. This is the Revolution waterproof mascara. It's a really, really good mascara. Now that your glue is a wee bit tacky, you're going to apply your lashes as close to your lash line as possible. I like to press up at the edges just to give that more cat eye effect. Okay, I don't want to admit it, but I do have pores, so I'm going to blur them babies out with the Optical Illusion Primer by Urban Decay. This is actually one of my favourites, and as you can see, it just blurred everything out. Yes! Lauramercier and NARS, my two favourite foundations. I'm going to mix these two together. The Lauramercier one is in the shade Buff, and the NARS one is in the shade Barcelona. And I'm just going to take a brush and apply that along the jawline, down the neck and the forehead, and I'm going to leave my under eye free of this foundation because I'm actually going to come in with a lighter foundation later on for the under eye. So now I'm taking Huda Beauty in the shade Creme Brulee. This is your foundation for underneath your eye, and I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and I'm going to give it 1 or 2 pumps, and then I'm going to start at the inner tear duct. I like to use a beauty blender for this step because I just find it gets close to the eye. I'm going to take it right out just underneath that shadow that's on your temple, being very, very careful that you don't actually hit the shadow, and just keep blending until you're happy that everything is nice and seamless. Using that same beauty blender, I'm going to tap the excess product onto the chin and the forehead. I just find that this is an easier way to highlight without adding too much product. Now taking the Lauramercier translucent powder, I'm just going to apply that over the areas where I just highlighted, and I'm actually going to let this sit for a wee minute. It's called a baking technique. This just helps give a crease-free, flawless finish. What a mouthful. So now, while I'm waiting for that powder to bake, I'm going to take the Ardell brow pen, and you can see how fine the tip is. So I'm just going to start to draw on like wee hair strokes, just where my brows are kind of like sparse. For the front of the brow, I'm actually going to take a powder. This is the Illamasqua brow cake in the shade Thunder. I'm taking my brush, turning it upside down and drawing on the wee hairs. I just find this is a more soft approach when you use powder. And then I'm just going to underline my brow just to give that bit more definition. Now taking a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to dust the rest of the excess powder off and kind of like work it into the rest of the face. Now it is time to bronzer up, and this is actually one of my favourite steps because I just think it starts to transform your face. I just love it. I'm going to take the Doll Beauty Gimme Sun in the shade Dark, and I'm just going to apply that close to that shadow there at the temple. This is going to be my starting point. I'm then going to bring it down a wee bit closer to the ear and bring it slightly in underneath the cheekbone. I realised I was pouting away there. I'm going to take that bronzer now and I'm going to apply it to the forehead. I actually like to do like a 3 motion, but because my shadow is slightly extended out onto the temple, I'm going to just go as close as I can to the shadow without actually touching the shadow. Making sure that jawline is snatched, I'm applying some bronzer, and I find if you go underneath the ear and work your way down along the jawline, that's the best way to apply it. Now that I have the darker of the 2 bronzers applied, I'm going to take this Too Faced bronzer, which is in the shade Chocolate Diamond, and I'm going to apply that. Oh yeah, I'm just talking to somebody there. Somebody actually walked in on me. I'm going to apply that to all the areas that I already contoured. This just gives a beautiful glow, and it's actually one of my favourite bronzers at the minute. It's so pretty, and I think it's actually a limited edition, which I'm really sad about. Now I'm taking some translucent powder and I'm just going to go underneath the bronzed area. This is just to give that more chiseled effect, just enhancing your features even more. I'm actually squeezing the brush so that it's nice and flat. You can see I'm going back and forth. Do you see how that just absolutely transforms that area? I just love this step. Now taking the Inglot gel liner in 77, the black one, and a liner brush, I'm going to just go along the waterline. I know this step is so hard without bloody watering, but yeah, do as best you can. Now you're just going to take a small flat brush and pick up some black eyeshadow, and we're just going to go along the lash line. I like to do like a press and kind of wiggle technique. I don't know how else to say that, Days. But yeah, I'm just kind of like pressing or stamping the black shadow on close to the gel liner, and also while giving it a wee wiggle. I just find that this gets everything nice and black. Taking a kind of stiffer dome brush now, I'm going to take the brown shade from the Doll Beauty palette, and the same kind of pressure and technique applies for this. And I like to do it as I call half on, half off. So you're kind of half on the black shadow and half on your skin, and you're just going to wiggle back and forth until it's nice and blended. Using that same brush, I'm picking up the Jaja shade, which is the orangey one from the Clientele palette, and I'm going to start at the inner tear duct, and I'm going to bring it out slightly, kind of where your pupil is. That's where I want it to end. Now I'm just going to do a wee nose contour. I'm actually going to take that Doll Beauty Give Me Sun in the shade Dark. And remember earlier in the video I said to bring your eyeshadow slightly onto your nose. This is where now you're going to connect your eyeshadow and your bronzer together. You're going to bring it down the nose and you're going to go back and forth with the product, making sure everything's nice and blended out. Now it's time for blush, and this is the Ofra Madison Miller collaboration, and this is in the shade Sweet Stuff. I actually just bought this the other day from Beauty Bay, and you know what, it's my first time ever really using their blushes, and I am absolutely obsessed, I have to say. So I'm just applying this to the apples of the cheek, kind of on the nose, and a wee bit on the forehead as well. Then I'm going to take this other blush from Ofra, which is also a new one that I bought. This is in the shade Candy Apple, and I'm just applying that to the cheek area. I'm now taking this extra dimension blush in the shade Fairly Precious by MAC, and I'm just going to apply that to the apples of the cheek. This is beautiful. I also picked up this Ofra highlighter, which is, oh my god, stunning. It's in the shade Ballet. The only thing is my camera didn't really pick it up, which I'm really quite annoyed about, but yeah, I swear if you're in the flesh, this is absolutely so pretty. If you're someone who likes to glow, then you can always add more highlighter, but this step is optional. But this is the Inglot Sparkling Dust, and I'm just going to apply that to the cheek, above the brow, top of the nose, above the lip and the chin. And I actually just got too much on my chin, but not to worry, we can always dust that off. Now moving on to the lips, I'm taking this lip liner by Peaches and Creams. This is in the shade Punchline. I actually think I got this in like a 4-pack or a 5-pack, and I just know that it was really affordable. And you know what, they are so creamy, so easy to apply. So yeah, I really recommend these. And I'm just kind of slightly overdrawing my lips. For lipstick today, I'm going to be taking the MAC lipstick in the shade Honey Love. This is an absolutely stunning nude, so if you're a nude kind of gal, you should definitely pick this one up. So once I've applied the lipstick, I then go back in with my lip liner, and I'm just going to do that ombre effect. I just think that you need to go back and forth with your products, making sure that you're happy with it. I'm now going to be applying a gloss. This one here is from Peaches and Creams in the shade Suede. I really love their glosses actually, but obviously this is optional. If you prefer your lips more matte, then you just stop at the lipstick stage, but for me, it's a gloss. So this is the finished look. I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out, everyone. I would say though that you need to be really careful when you're using the gel liner, the one from Inglot. Mine's kind of dried in, so I didn't get the blend that I was absolutely hoping for and the one that I know I could do. But anyway, I just kept going, and that's what you have to do when you're doing makeup. You just have to keep going. I did end up adding glitter, and I'm going to show you this now with the lights turned off. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. So anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!